Welcome to the first episode of Geopolitical Report, the podcast published by SpecialEurasia. Today we want to discuss the issues related to the Caucasus. The first issue will be, for sure, the re-election of the president of Azerbaijan, Ilham Aliyev. He won this presidential election with 92% of the votes. It was an announced election and a victory for Ilham Aliyev, and according to Baku's version, for the first time after 30 years or more than 30 years, people from the Nagorno-Karabakh, or what they consider the liberated territory of Karabakh, could vote for in this presidential election. Why does it matter? Because before the election there were many rumors regarding the human rights and also democracy in Azerbaijan. Also, some members of the European Parliament and the Parliamentary Assembly of the European Union accused of Azerbaijan of not respecting human rights and democracy inside the country, accused Ilham Aliyev's government to put in jail opposition leaders and journalists. This election for sure confirms the Aliyev leadership and also confirms the fact that Azerbaijan has a strong role which can control the country. In this case, we can assess that the governance is strong and also has the political and popular support, even though there are some voices of opposition which are in jail or abroad and are against the Aliyev regime. It is also interesting to see how the European Union will face all the allegations or concerns regarding Aliyev's government and accusation of the fact that Aliyev created a regime inside this country, and also the fact that Azerbaijan was accused of humanitarian blockade against the population of Nagorno-Karabakh or Artsakh in Armenian language for 9 months before, in September 2023, Azerbaijan started a military operation against the Nagorno-Karabakh and conquered Stepanakert, and in this case fully annexed the last piece of territory of Nagorno-Karabakh. There are some allegations and reports from independent NGOs, from journalists regarding also the military offensive of Baku, which has been accused of using huge force against civilians, and also perpetrating some war crimes. It is hard in this case to see where is this true. What we know also, if we check the ranking of Azerbaijan in some specific international organizations which covered human rights, democracy, and freedom of expression, we know that Azerbaijan has a low level and also a level lower than Russia. And as we know, the West started this confrontation with Russia after February 2022 when Russia started its special military operation or invasion of Ukraine. This is really important matters to monitor because now Azerbaijan wants to, after achieved the conquering of the entire territory of Nagorno-Karabakh, wants to promote itself as a logistic hub and interconnector country between Europe and Asia, and wants also to push its oil and gas production to reach important agreements with Europe. But uh, on the other side, there are some accusations regarding Azerbaijan, which is really close to the Russian Federation, and it's really hard now for the European Union to balance itself between the necessity to acquire oil and gas from Azerbaijan and also to defend its communication and propaganda and the EU communication propaganda regarding democracy and regarding the fact that Brussels support democratic values. Talking about the Caucasus, we have also to analyze the recent wars of Maria Zakharova regarding the South Ossetia and Abkhazia. The official representative of the Russian Foreign Affairs Ministry, Maria Zakharova, stated that Russia continued to provide assistance to Abkhazia and South Ossetia, calling them as a friend. I want to remind that Abkhazia and Ossetia and South Ossetia became independent, de facto independent, after the Georgian-Russian War in 2008, and now they are recognized by just few states, but the major partner is the Russian Federation, which has been supporting these two republics. SpecialEurasia's team visited Abkhazia and the opportunity to talk with the local representatives of foreign ministers, also local politicians and business entrepreneurs. And there is a bit difference between these two republics because Abkhazia has a strategic role also because it's on the Black Sea. And recently, the Russian Federation established a military maritime military infrastructure in Abkhazia near the capital Sukhum. Also, South Ossetia is important because it's the middle of the Caucasus, but regarding also the economic opportunities of this republic, there are less opportunities than Abkhazia. What is important is that Moscow still continues to support the independence of these two republics, and in this case, to face Georgia because according to Tbilisis government, these two territory are part of the Georgian Republic and are under occupation of the Russian military forces. In the end, we can conclude this podcast with the words of Vladimir Putin during the interview with Tucker Carlson. It was a long interview, but what we want to focus on is uh, his word regarding North Caucasus. Vladimir Putin says that accused the United States of supporting terrorism in the North Caucasus. He says that particularly during the 90s when the Russian Federation faced at the beginning the ethno independent movements in Chechnya, then the local militancy which was transformed in terrorism activities in the North Caucasus. Vladimir Putin accused the United States to support these separatist forces and terrorists. It is an important accusation and also allegation by the Russian president because support was also what also the Russian Federation always said regarding external forces which try to undermine the Russian territory, the Russian security and safety. Why does it matter? Because it has another layer of confrontation between Russia and the United States, because it confirms what always we say, especially Russia, that the North Caucasus has a special role in Russian domestic and foreign policy. Thanks for your attention. See you the next time with Geopolitical Report podcast episode.